Don't do that when you're doing NV5600 things. It's bad. That's bad and good. Picking up where we left off, the little montage that I showed you guys in the beginning of this video. If you guys remember from the past video, when we located the leak on Sally, it wasn't the rear main seal. It was actually, I have the catch can vented incorrectly on this truck. So it's actually creating pressure and it's forcing some leaks out around the valve cover, which is running down the back, and it's making a mess. So as you guys saw, I got everything cleaned up, and since I can't speak for shit this morning, I guess I'll show you. We have the adapter plate reinstalled. We got the flywheel and the clutch as well. I ended up running all the transmission hardware threw a little anti-seize on them and chased them. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna get shitty about that, but on a manual transmission, when you're trying to line up the splines on the input shaft and then also make sure you don't destroy that needle bearing, which we did do. If you saw the last video, trying to get all that lined up on this big ass heavy transmission, trying to get the angle right on the trans, and then trying to get the angle right on the engine. As you can see, it is tipped forward. Usually they tip back, but it's Cummins, it's inline 6, ain't no thing. So yeah, it's the last thing I want to deal with is trying to get these bolts ran through and having something catch. I am a one-man show today. Again, these components are all extremely heavy. It's going to be a little sketchy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip the engine up, and then I'm going to try to bring in our transmission and match that angle. But first I got to clean up the input shaft just a little bit on the transmission. I don't believe that I'm going to film any of this just because it's probably going to be awkward angle with my fat ass in the way trying to get this in. So I will catch up with you guys once the transmission's back in. Okay guys, a little beat up, but I'm glad that I didn't try to time lapse that because I was going from one side of the transmission to the other and back and forth, but we finally got the damn thing in there. Pretty sure 6 hernias later, but we're good to go. So let me crawl in here and we'll take a better look. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it or not, but that bitch is heavy. Absolutely heavy. It took quite a bit, but we got it in there. The next thing on the list is we're gonna have to spread the frame rails. Sorry for the lack of light, my light is dying. But we're gonna have to spread the frame rails to get the transmission cross member in there, and then we'll be able to take our jack out of there. I'm not necessarily sure if I'm gonna time lapse that or not. Chances are I'm probably not, but I'm gonna go ahead and catch up with you guys afterwards once we get done with that part of this video. Light this time. So like I said, to get the transmission cross member in, which is that little guy right there, if you look at this thing, it's hard to tell. I'm laying on my side and I'm under the truck, as you can see, but this goes in at an angle, and then Dodge and all their, or Chrysler, whoever in their fit of brilliance, decided to make the mount right here at an angle as well. So you have to spread the frame apart just to get that stupid cross member in there. Now this is sketchy, don't get me wrong. I got good buddy Bogema's bottle jack in here. This thing's massive. This is how we've done it every other time. I absolutely do not recommend doing this by yourself. Always try to use a buddy system when doing something like this, but again, we're a one-man show today, so we gotta get this damn thing in here and set that trans down. So like I said, I'm not time-lapsing this, but hopefully I catch up with you guys after I get it back in. Okay, massive jump in time forward. We did get the transmission in. Like I said previously, we had to spread the frame rails with our bottle jack. Didn't have any issues there, but I'm glad that I didn't time lapse that, just like I'm glad I didn't time lapse anything else, because it took way longer than it should have. This has been one project that has just absolutely frustrated the hell out of me ever since we started reassembling it. And in all reality, that's extremely out of character for this truck, because I've already had all this stuff blown apart. I've cleaned everything up, all the parts and components, everything. I made life easier, but it was one of those where, you know, the stars aligned, the moon was blue, and I guess it is what it is. But spreading the frame, that wasn't terrible. Again, I recommend having a second person. However, when we spread the frame rails, it offset the transmission. So it did kind of require me to use a ratchet strap there to pull it over. So not only were we trying to wrestle around our massive ass transmission jack, I'll show that again, then trying to keep clear of the chunk of 4x4 and the big ass bottle jack that was in the frame, spreading the rails. But now I got to work around a ratchet strap pulling on the transmission, and I've got to reach my hand inside of the frame rails, which is already next to impossible when it's wide open, to try to get the bolts in for the cross member. So it seems like when you have help, these things go completely smooth, but when you're by yourself, it's just an absolute dumpster fire. And honestly, I mean, I'm not sweating it, you know. I accomplished what I needed to, and each day I've had to walk away. So I was able to nickel and dime this thing. I've shared this before, I'm gonna share it again. And I stand behind it. So to finish out this video, I've been staring at this truck, and there's something that's been seriously bothering me. And specifically, that's all the rust and stuff coming off of the body here. The last time that I did this job, I had the truck up on the Rhino ramps, like we have the first gen here, and it made life a lot easier. That transmission jack will reach that height too, so live and learn. But the next time I do this, which I will have to do this again, I guarantee it, it's a manual transmission. At some point it's going to need a clutch. But next time I will definitely put it up on the ramps, because this truck is high enough where, you know, it's on 35s, it's factory high boy. Yeah, I kept grabbing the fender right there and knocking that out. I blew through the rest of that door, just sliding in and out, and so you're getting shit all over you and you're getting rained on by rust. And it was frustrating because, again, the truck is tall enough where you can slide in and out of there, no problems, but it's deceiving enough where when you're doing it, you kind of smack your head on everything. And I'm sourcing fenders this weekend. I'm so sick and tired of looking at this. It honestly, it irritates the piss out of me. You know, it was a fight to get the door on there. I did this years ago. That door actually is clean. It's frustrating. It really is. The point I'm trying to get at is my wife absolutely loves this truck. This is her truck, 6-speed manual. This is her baby. But she is a typical woman, a typical mom, in that she puts everybody before her. Now, thankfully, this truck does have, as far as the driveline and everything that's gone into the driveline, engine and all that, we haven't spared any expense. I mean, this thing has more SFI certifications in the glove box than most of your guys' race trucks do out there that are ripping around on the street. I got to get the driver's side door painted white because it makes the truck stand out and look worse than it is. So I want to get that painted while it's down. And then I got to thinking, I have the rear doors here as well. Make sure, okay, you guys can see those. And those things are clean as well. So I'm going to get those painted up, transfer everything over. But the fenders, they drive me absolutely nuts. Now, back to what I was saying before about my wife being your typical mom, wife, mother. Now, my vets out there will know exactly what I'm talking about. The fellows out there that have been married for a long time, or you know, they've been with their spouse for many, many moons. You know, you younger guys, you may not understand, but when you get to that time, try to get your wife to eat a hot meal with the rest of the family. Let me know how that works out for you. Doesn't always work out the greatest. And it's a mom thing. It's a wife thing. I don't know which category that they put it in, but it's like pulling teeth. I have helped my wife with just about every chore that she possibly had before dinner, and she still found something to do to make sure that the rest of the house or we were taken care of before she ate her meal. And that's kind of the same thing with her truck. I've been fighting to order to, you know, go pick up body panels for it. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a fuckboy surcharge that goes with the second gens, and it's unreal. I can get clean fenders for my Chevys, my GMCs all day long for 50 to 75 bucks each. These idiots out here want 175 for them, and they got surface rust and damage. So I'm gonna try to. My goal is I'm gonna source a set this weekend. I want to get the fenders taken care of because they look like absolute hell. The rear doors are going on, and I want to get the driver's side door painted white. That way the rest of the truck, it cleans it up. There's still plenty enough meat on the rockers, which is why we parked the truck, so that way we can get new ones put on there. It's frustrating. I love my wife to death. She's the most selfless person I've ever met, but good God, woman, that truck looks like hell. That's enough of a ramble. That's enough of a rant. I'm done. Upcoming video, we're going to be putting the rest of the driveline back in it. We're going to be hooking the exhaust back up. We have to do a rear main seal on the, or not rear main, a rear pinion seal on the rear axle. I hear you. Thanks a lot. Now I lost my train of thought. We got to vacuum out the interior, get that all detailed. Like I said, the rest of the body panels, but ain't no thing. Ain't no freaking thing. We're going to tackle it. Nope, I'm going to get into that on another video. Not important right now. But anyway, take care, you guys. Be good to one another. God bless. We'll see you on the next one, guys. See you.